Hello. This is Antya from Byte Shuffle. Thank you as always for watching my videos. This time, I've put together a guide on how to approach the lands matchup when playing Ad Nauseam Tendrils, as well as my thoughts on sideboarding. It's a bit old, but there's a video about the basics of Ad Nauseam Tendrils linked in the description and at the end of this video, so feel free to check it out if you're interested. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. This hand looks capable of sculpting itself with card draw spells, so I'm going to keep it. I'm digging for a combo piece. I stack Swamp, Beseech the Mirror, then Cabal Ritual, then draw. It looks like my opponent is on lands. I'm going to dig for some mana acceleration. I put them back in the order of Tendrils of Agony first, then Veil of Summer. I'm going to dig for some mana acceleration. Surveil's effect leaves it on top of the library. I'm going to dig for some mana acceleration. I put back 2 fetch lands. I'm going all in from here. I'll increase the mana needed for the combo. Since the opponent is on lands, I should expect cards like Endurance and Crop Rotation. Now that I have enough mana, I'm going to try to win without using the graveyard. I win with Tendrils of Agony. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list we used. First, the conclusion. I will explain it step by step. These are the key cards from lands that impact Ad Nauseam Tendrils. First, we have permanents such as Disruptor Flute, Deafening Silence, and Sphere of Resistance. To deal with these, we bring in Abrupt Decay, Heritage Reclamation, Forest, and Hide on the Ceiling. In exchange, we cut Veil of Summer and Duress. Next, we have graveyard hate cards such as Crop Rotation, Soul Guide Lantern, Bojuka Bog, and Endurance. To ignore the opponent's graveyard hate, we bring in the Ad Nauseam package, which doesn't rely on the graveyard. In exchange, we cut Cabal Ritual. This is because it relies on the graveyard for mana production, and in the early turns, it often functions as nothing more than a 2-mana Lotus Petal. Next, regarding Urza's Saga. The lands player uses these permanents and graveyard hate cards to buy time. They can pressure our life total with construct tokens, or search for Soul Guide Lantern, or skateboard with the Chapter 3 ability. As a result, Urza's Saga contributes both offensively and defensively. Once Urza's Saga hits the battlefield, it's probably best to assume we only have about 2 turns left. Next, we have Consign to Memory and Flusterstorm. These cards haven't been showing up very often lately, but some players still run them, so they're worth keeping in mind. A good way to tell is by watching for unusually suspicious blue mana sources. If you see them, it's probably best to play around counterspells. I've covered this before, but since some people may not be familiar with it, I'd like to take a deeper look at the Dark Depths combo. First, they activate Thespian Stage, targeting Dark Depths. Then, Thespian Stage becomes a copy of Dark Depths. Due to the legend rule, only the copied Dark Depths remains on the battlefield, triggering the effect that creates a Marit Lage token. At this point, if we activate Boseiju Who Endures, the copied Dark Depths goes to the graveyard, and the effect that creates the Marit Lage token is stopped as well. Let's go back to the original game state. We're back to the point where only the copied Dark Depths remained on the battlefield, and the ability to create the Marit Lage token has triggered. Just like before, we activated Boseiju Who Endures targeting the copied Dark Depths. At this point, let's say the opponent uses Consign to Memory to counter the triggered ability that creates the Marit Lage token. The ability that creates the Marit Lage token is a state-triggered ability. So the moment it gets countered, a new trigger to create the Marit Lage token goes on the stack again. Since the ability that creates the Marit Lage token resolves first, the Marit Lage token enters the battlefield before Boseiju Who Endures resolves this time. To summarize everything so far, When Thespian stage targets dark depths. If there's a chance the opponent is holding consigned to memory, you may be able to avoid suddenly losing by using Boseiju, who endures on Thespian stage before it becomes a copy. No lands in this hand, so I'll take a mulligan. I'm putting Tendrils of Agony on the bottom. I have about 2 turns left. I'm digging for land. Surveil's effect sends it to the graveyard. I remove Damping Sphere. I'm going all in from here. I'll increase the mana needed for the combo. With Beseech the Mirror, if I can get up to 4 mana and have at least 1 artifact or enchantment on the battlefield, I can win from there. There are no more spells costing 3 mana or more left in the deck, so I'm going to draw cards for as long as possible. I build up my mana and increase my storm count. I win with Tendrils of Agony. Thank you very much for watching until the end. I apologize for the many misplays along the way. I hope we can all continue to improve at Magic together. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. I'll see you again in the next video. This is Antya, signing off.